Brews and Banter Podcast. Banter Podcast. Brews and Banter Podcast. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Brews and Banter Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the Legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I was reading this weekend.
Mama.
Nah, it doesn't taste like dirt.
My name is Lou Belgium, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm wondering.
Does Delaware have an actual culture? This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world, politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair.
Ooh, we love you, Brews and Banter Podcast.
What up? Welcome to Bruising Banter Podcast.
What just happened? Where is the music?
You could have just let it go. I had to bring it on.
No.
You just jumped in. I wasn't. Yeah, you didn't even let a five. You didn't even do a take or nothing.
Right.
You didn't give a heartbeat or nothing. You just jumped right in.
Right.
Well, hello to you. What up to you?
5, 4.
Right.
Something, nigga. That's crazy.
Let us know you was gonna come in hot. Like I never paid attention to the first 2 seconds.
Into the intro should have said, "Hey, it's time to go." No,
But that's not how. I mean,
That's
when
nah.
it's
man,
a brand
that's
new
not how
year,
we gonna
baby.
do
Yeah. So
Brand new.
amongst the group, we should have discussed that. before that
Yeah,
happened.
you gonna be a wild card and just be off the cuff
what do you
that
want?
nobody. Yeah, nah.
Let's keep you on your toes like Cat Williams,
Nah.
baby. I got you.
He didn't keep people on his toes. He was shooting toes.
It was just the music didn't for some reason it didn't connect to my thing. I thought it was, but
No, so he
it is what it is.
took a little break, and now it don't want to work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But what up?
Everything
Welcome to
was a break.
Bruising Banter Podcast, where the topic is the rocking and the brew. Well, happy to fuel. I'm your host, Rob G, and with me, as always, the Legendary Brew Crew. What's going on, fellas?
Hi.
Hello. How's everyone doing out there?
Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year to you, fellas. Hope
Yeah,
everybody
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
had a great time off. We're back, and this is episode 232 of Bruising Banter Podcast.
Jeez.
Yes, 232 episodes that you can enjoy at your leisure. If this is your first time joining us, it's 2024. We've been doing this since 2018. What you doing?
He just said 232. Where you
What
been?
the hell wrong with you?
At? Where you been at?
And if you have been riding with us, our bruisers, what's going on? Thank you for joining us again for another year. I think we got a good year going to happen. A lot of things is happening this year. I think it's going to be a 2024 starting off with a bang. As I already mentioned, Cat Williams said he's going to come out with the clip and just buck off, even if probably 75% of the stuff he was saying probably was lies, but some of it was true. But
I think it was lesser than 75% lies.
now when he started
I think
off 3,000
The 3,000 books lies.
All lies.
You got to come back. You got to come back to some of the stuff. I think some of the stuff was true, but not 75% lies.
Yo, if he
Okay.
said he was, if he was 175 years old and he told me that, I believe him.
No, but see, the funny part is it's not even that it's the response that people think. He say just because you said you have receipts without showing receipts does not mean you have receipts.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fact.
So it's an interesting thing about just in general how social media works. And I know a lot of people responded, but it's funny because the same people who said, "Oh, they should, why they respond? They must be guilty," are same people who said, "Oh, they didn't respond. They must be guilty." So you can't
Right,
win
we don't win.
in the social media age.
Oh, it's no winning at all.
Yeah. So it's like, what do? You do what you do. I mean, it was great promotion. It was a stand-up comedy show, if anybody didn't know it.
Man, it was 2.5 hours long. It was definitely
Yeah.
just riffing.
If his tour wasn't sold out, I know he kept on saying he wasn't promoting nothing, but if his tour wasn't sold out before, I think it'd be sold out now. So great marketing. So I can't. But he did put a post up that he can run fast. I don't know if he run a 4:40.
I don't know who timed. Somebody supposedly timed it. It is going over the internet, but it definitely was slower than 4:47. 4:47, bro.
Also wasn't 100 yards either. It was like
no, it was supposed to be a 40.
97.
Yeah.
A
40-yard dash.
40. Yeah, 40-yard dash. So it's like 100 feet, whatever. I don't know. 40 yards, 120 feet. So I don't know if that was
you good on that math, boy. I tell you.
I was about to say, why we gotta call it feet? It's a 40-yard dash.
Okay.
Nobody ever called it a 120-foot yard dash. No one ever.
It'll be feet. It'll be feet.
Yeah, 100 and what I say? Did I say that right?
I don't know. He said a 40-yard dash. Did he say 100-yard dash, or did he say 100-yard dash or a 40-yard dash?
No, he said his 40-yard time is 4.4 or something like that.
And he could have put 4.4, time that,
right?
Then,
yeah, that's what he did. That's what it did. Somebody timed him, but they just stopped it at 4.47 and turned it to the camera. No one knows if he actually stopped it. It wasn't. It wasn't like a combine 40 like type of clock. It was.
That's a good part about the internet. That's a good part about the internet. I'll tell you.
His 8-second 40 time was 4.4 seconds.
But I guess because people stopped responding, like Steve, I don't think Steve ever responded. So I guess he was like, you know what? I need to keep this bubbling. I need to keep it bubbling. So I'll post me running, keep it bubbling. So I respect the hustle. I respect the marketing, the press. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp for doing the Club Shay Shay, all good stuff. I know people hating on them.
Yeah, I'm about to start talking about people and saying I got receipts. And it's gonna be all lies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because somebody, I think it was one of the comedians, I can't remember the name. He was like, it was funny and all that stuff, but he was like, I can say the same thing about him because the Epstein list came out.
He was on
at the same time, so that came out at the same time. He did all lists, so he could be a plan to distract us from the Epstein list to talk about all this. So maybe he's the industry plant. And if I say if I say it like this convincing, you'll believe that too. So. I don't know.
That's true.
All right. Well, we got a great show. That was not the show.
No. We got more.
We're more sophisticated than talking about. No, we're not. But
at times,
we can fake like we are though. It's cool.
Yeah.
But we do have a guest with us this afternoon, this morning, this evening. Whenever you listen and watching this podcast, we have a venture capitalist with us. He is one of the I guess I don't know if it's Delaware's first share space and Bubble Soccer. I don't know what that is. He's gonna explain to us.
I can't wait to find out what that is.
Y'all don't know what Bubble Soccer is?
No, don't tell me. Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me. I can't wait. And I know it ain't what I think.
His resume speaks for itself. He got a lot of things. He is an advisor to Daymond John, one of the Shark Tank folks. If you don't know, Fubu Zone, which is actually making a comeback. I saw. Is that right?
Yeah, I see people rocking Fubu. Like, what is that?
I'm gonna get some if I can find it. I'm gonna wear me some.
I still got mine. Sorry.
I was about to say. Without further ado, we want to bring Pedro Moore.
Can you still fit it?
Yo, what you trying to say, brother?
Welcome, Pedro. Welcome.
Pedro.
I'm saying claps. You grew up. You grew up.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for having me. I've been enjoying the convo, even in the behind the scenes. Y'all
appreciate
you. We thank you for coming and gracing us with your presence. It did have a clap. You ain't hear the clap yet?
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I heard it. I
didn't hear it. That was crazy.
That's that. See that hate, Pedro? You see that hate, Pedro? Man, get off your bar humbug. It's January, man. Get off your bar humbug, bro.
I was just wondering why y'all wasn't clapping for my boy. That's see. That wasn't hate. I was looking out. I didn't hear the clap, so I said something.
Okay.
See something, say something.
You didn't hear hard enough. Next time you gotta hear harder.
I gotta listen harder.
yeah. Just hear it harder, and the clap would be there.
Right. But before we get into all this, we always like to know what everybody is drinking on. So, what are we drinking today? We always start with a guest. So I don't know, Pedro, are you drinking something today?
I don't drink, so I just have a water bottle with some energy stuff inside of it.
Wait,
so that's what we're doing right now.
Energy stuff.
What kind of energy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
is it legal?
it's by 4C Energy, so it's like lemonade flavor.
Okay.
We give a little bit of caffeine in
okay.
there, as well as hydration and all that.
That can't.
All right,
good.
so you are celebrating dry January every day. That's what's up. Every month.
Yeah, are you not drinking because it's dry January, or are you a dry 12 months a year?
I just don't drink in general.
Gotcha. Respect.
All right. Wait, 4C. That's drinking your electrolytes and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Lou, what you drinking on?
Man, I thank you, Rob, up front, because I think you gave this to me. But our homeboy Levante out in Westchester made this beer. It's called Philly Dilly. It's a.
I want to know why you guys laugh.
Because it's not his homeboy.
And did he?
Oh
man! Did I go down?
Yeah,
you went down like Frazier.
Yeah.
Am I back? Am I not back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You back.
Maybe you was
all right, real
quarter.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't think it has anything to do with it at all.
I've been in trouble like I'm here in the corner. Get in the corner.
I've been sitting in the corner and in trouble for 4 years. It's the same fucking spot.
It's the same spot.
Yeah, I don't move. I told you I like to be incognito. I'm always in a white corner. You know, you never know where I could
be. Always in the white corner.
That sounds like something off of Get Out. But go ahead. What's up with the beer?
Can y'all see the pickle man on the beer? He got a Fleur de Lore on his shirt.
I don't think that's right, but yeah.
That is with the Saint. That's what the Saints. It's a Fleur de Lore.
Fleur de Lore?
Look, yes.
You know, Luke.
Yes. Go ahead and Google it. Go ahead and Google it.
I thought it was like Fleur de Leaf or something like that. Fleur de Lore?
Man, same shit, bro. Like, why are you trying to? I don't speak French. I do not speak French. Why would you even question my French? It sounded exactly like what you said.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I believe him.
You believe him. He got receipts, bro.
Yeah, he got receipts.
This is a 5% Pilsner. Like I said, it's mixed with the signature spices from the Fishtown Pickle Project. I drank a little bit of it, but this is what it looks like.
Like pickle juice.
It's kind of golden in color. It has a little bit of a green tint to it, but I think that's just my eyes playing tricks on me in the light. But I really wanted y'all to just see the glass. That's a beautiful glass. It wasn't as harsh. Like normally pickle beers are sours or gozas because of the salt and everything, but this one, with being a Pilsner, it's just a hint. You could tell it's not heavy with the vinegar or the whatever other pickle spices. It's just a hint in the smell and like in the back end, but it's heavy in the Pilsner feel, and it's a good Pilsner. I think anybody who doesn't really like pickle beer would like this because it's not as heavy on the pickle as normally it would be. So I'll pass me another. It's not my best pickle beer because I like the salt. I like the salt of it all with the goza. I think that's a good way to make a pickle beer. But this was good. This was a good offering. I would definitely have me another, especially with the 5% ABV. But cheers. Cheers to Levante and them niggas on the block. Appreciate
that's
y'all.
not them. That's not true.
That's not.
They gonna start using that like what? Lou told me how we the niggas on the block.
Right. Yeah, you gonna all of us in trouble.
Right. They wouldn't. they wouldn't.
All right, yeah. What you got?
So I got the Dewey beer. One of these Dewey beer Thrill Jones. Trills. What is it? Yeah, that's John.
Thrills.
Yeah. I don't know who gave this to me. Who gave this to me? One of y'all?
Right, man. It looks familiar.
So I didn't know if this was the one that you was like, oh, y'all like this, but you didn't like it. But this ain't it, is it?
No, that wasn't.
What is it?
So this is
what kind of flavor is it?
It's pineapple orange vanilla fruit smoothie.
No, that was good.
This is delicious, it's a little diabetical, but it's really good.
Give you the diabetes. You need to take a shot afterwards.
Yeah. Yo, but this comes in at a 5.25. alcohol by volume. But this is what it looks like in the glass. So it just looks like juice, right?
Yeah.
You sure can see that?
It's thick. Is that thick?
It's thick. It's so thick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit thick. It's a little thick.
I thought so. It look thick.
It ain't too thick. It ain't too thick, but it's thick enough. Okay.
It looked thick. It looked thicker than I thought it would be. That thing looked thicker than I thought.
Now, it ain't too thick, but it's real. Okay. It's actually real smooth. It's real smooth. It ain't as thick as your other smoothie type beers.
Okay.
Like how they be real thick and they leave that rum on your glass. It ain't. It's not like that. So it still has that. It's a little smoother than that. So I really like this.
Okay.
But you can taste everything in it, especially the pineapples and the orange. I don't know too much of any vanilla flavor in there, but I mean it could be. I don't taste it. What
style they calling that, Yoda?
They call it a smoothie beer, but all the smoothies are pretty much sours, right?
Yeah.
I would say.
I think so.
It's in the category, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a smoothie sour, but shout out to Dewey Beer and their thrills because they're always good, right? Always. Yeah. I mean, some of them can be really, really sweet, but this one's not super sweet, but it's sweet enough. But I pass me another one of these.
Thrills in the secret machine, bro.
All right. That sounds good.
Rob, what you drinking in the new 2024, sir?
I'm actually drinking from Twisted Gingers. There it is right here. The Mayors. It's the Mayor. It's the blonde ale. I think they also have a Mayor Light. There you go. And a thing.
Yeah, that's better.
A Mayor Light. This is Mayor.
Yo, I got a question though. How come we all look like we in 1080 and you look like you in 420?
Yeah, we already said this. I don't know, bro.
Because when you put that can up, it look worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It took a long time for the camera to focus on the can. Yeah, but it's all right.
Well,
woo.
These chitlins be messing
just washes out the chitlins.
Is that
better? There you go. I can see.
Oh yeah, there it is. There you go.
Okay.
Maybe there's too much light pouring in. I don't know. Yeah. But this is a 5.1%. It's the original. I think it's what started off Twisted Ginger starting to brew their beers. The gentleman, I guess the owner, started this because he was tired of his dad drinking the macro light beers, so he made a craft one. So there it is in the Brews and Banter cup. There it is. It's a nice light, crispy blonde ale. It's an easy drinker. Like I said, 5.1%. It's smooth. I mean, it's malty. It's a malt forward beer, so you ain't gonna get a lot of hoppiness. Not really real bitter. It's a nice, smooth, easy drinking beer. Like it says on the thing, it's for trimming, cutting the grass, grilling, chilling, all that, all these illins. So shout out to Twisted Ginger. I'm gonna pass me another.
Shout out to Twisted Ginger.
Yo, special shout out to Twisted Ginger. Oh my god, man, best pizza in the
oh my goodness,
best pizza in the world.
Well, it might be best pizza in my world.
It's close. It's close. Best pizza in my world is a great answer, Yoda. That is right on time. That pizza was awesome, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll appreciate that.
I hope so.
So, like I said, we do have a great guest with us, and he told us about his C4. But now we want to know who is Pedro Moore, what he does. What is like for people who don't know, what is a venture capitalist? Because it's like, are you going on? Is it a venture capitalist? Is it venture cap? I mean, I know what it is, but
adventure capital, adventure capitalist.
Nice. So a title would be called venture capitalist, but the term for the industry is just venture capital. Right. And simply put, it is just an industry that is heavily focused on technology, and a venture capitalist their role is to take money from other people and invest it in technology companies. So companies like the platforms that we're using for this podcast most likely receive venture funding to grow and build, and that's just, to simplify it. That's essentially what it is.
All right. Well, he told us that, so we want to welcome Pedro to the podcast again. And without further ado,
I heard the claps.
I hear the claps.
Yeah, see,
yeah.
See, I didn't hear him.
You was listening hard at the time. You was hearing harder. You was hearing harder. I appreciate that.
But that means Pedro didn't hear them claps the first time either.
I heard them.
To this point, I didn't hear. I didn't hear the claps at all. I didn't know there were claps, but this time I did hear them.
See?
Oh, well.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you.
The floor is yours, Pedro.
So, yeah, we need to know how you got started in all this stuff.
Yeah, start wherever you want. Start wherever you want, but start.
Yeah, so I've always been passionate about like business, entrepreneurship. I was always in high school. You know, I was a person that was selling music, candy, and all that type of good stuff. Maybe not so much as candy, but music. I mean, we're in fifth grade. You guys remember NBA Jams?
Yeah.
Video game. I used to, they'll send out like cheat code magazines. I used to make copies of those magazines and sell them in my class for like 50 cents when I was in fifth grade. So I've always had that like hustle to make an extra $1 so that way I don't have to ask my mom for bubblegum money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good hustle.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know how much money I made, but I made some money. 50 cents for all I did was just, the magazine probably cost $2, right? And I don't know, I can't remember how I printed it, but or scanned it, but I did it. But anyway, fast forwarding to answer your question, because I didn't really know what venture capital was either. When I was in high school, I made a little history at University of Delaware, where I founded an entrepreneurship club there, student entrepreneurship club. Nice. And I was fortunate enough through a friend of mine who knew a local venture capitalist, and he came in to be a guest speaker. And so, I ended up just, building a good relationship with him, helping him out. He'll put on conferences, and even had Daymond John come to Delaware years ago to speak. This is before Shark Tank, though. So he was just Black people famous. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because of FUBU, because we know because of FUBU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He done crossed over when he goes to Shark Tank because he's worldwide now.
Yeah.
And so not to say that he wasn't famous, but you get what I'm saying. And so he came, as an intern, I was there to help out and all that good stuff, and to do what interns are supposed to do. You're free, you're there to network, build relationships, and you're free labor. But fast forwarding, I graduated from college. That local VC that I helped out when I was in college, he had an opening at his firm. And at the time, I still didn't really know what it was, but I felt it was a good opportunity. And he basically brought me under his wings and taught me the whole game of venture capital. And it really opened my world and expanded my mind when it comes to businesses. And even now, fast forward to today, I'm actually getting more into the world of private equity, because private equity owns the majority of America. A lot of sport teams are owned by private equity firms. A lot of franchise brands are owned by private equity firms. A lot of big brands, that household names that we know and love, are owned by private equity firms. So, but anyway, that's how I got into the world. And regarding how I got connected to Daymond, the venture capitalist, when Daymond eventually started doing deals for Shark Tank, the gentleman who I knew I worked for, I did a deal with Daymond to basically vet a lot of his deals. But unfortunately, some years passed, that one venture capitalist who mentored me, he passed away. So then the firm shut down and all that. And then I ended up launching my consulting practice, and I just took on the contract for Daymond John. So that's kind of how I got into that space.
Nice. Now people always
a lot so fast.
Say it again.
I said it seemed like a lot so fast, because you were saying that you like really didn't know what venture capitalist was, but you went for a firm, and then that's how you learn. It's like, I don't know if I would have put my foot out there if I wasn't sure.
Now keep in mind, this is all within since college, this is all within like a 15 to 20 year window. Between those relationships built and start working at the firm. Even at the firm, I can't remember how long it was. That was probably at least about 5 or so years even at that firm. So there was a good amount of time that has happened. I just kind of shortcut it. a little bit, but don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that I'm pretty sure even with you guys building you guys podcast brain, there's a lot of things you guys didn't know. Good crash course, and you just kind of learn on the fly, and that's essentially what it is. Now, great. And then also too, I also had a love for investing in general. Even before I got in the game, I just didn't know about investing in tech startups, and so I was already invested in public stocks. I actually helped buy my house. I did really good on my portfolio, which helped me save up for buying my first house. So nice. I was already in the practice of investing. It's just that investing in tech startups was a new genre for me, basically.
Okay. So, what did you say you studied at UD? I forgot. I don't know if you said.
Yeah. University of Delaware.
No, what? Oh, marketing man. Okay.
Yeah, right. No finance. I got like a C. I only took like one finance class. I got like a C. So go figure. I don't be in the field where you got to finance all the time. How does that work?
What gave you the impetus at school to start the entrepreneur workshop class? Or
sure, but you might have to like define
every time
for me.
Right, that's what I say.
I know I graduated, but I barely graduated.
Impetus just means what gave you the idea to start the business. Anytime I get to use the word, anytime I get to use that word, I throw it in there. But I like it when people don't know because I'll explain it to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate you actually taking the time to explain it to me too. Because sometimes certain industries, you get in there and there's this elite status where someone likes to throw higher vocabulary that you ain't familiar with, and they expect you to know, and then they won't even take the time to even explain it to you. A lot of times it's basic stuff,
easy.
Right?
Yeah. But, I throw out bigger words because I want people to know what bigger words mean.
Yeah. Yes. So keep doing that. Keep doing that.
No doubt. Appreciate you.
So what started because, as I said earlier, I've been passionate about entrepreneurship, and one thing too, as a teacher, talked to me about starting a business today, is you always want to solve a practical problem that you see that's missing in front of you. And the problem that I saw was I knew hearing stories about like Apple, Microsoft, and all that. Even in college, there's always a lot of times two people. Excuse me, two people, and one was more like a technical person, whether that's they're good at the fashion or whether they're good at the technology, and then you had the business guru, right? And at the time at the school, there was a lot of emphasis on entrepreneurship at the business school, but there was no one really talking to anyone at the engineering school, and there was no one really talking to the let's just say the fashion and all that. And so I wanted a center where, not a center, but a vehicle where students from different schools on campus can come together. So it could be a fashion person and a business person, an engineer and a business person or accountant or whatever, all come into various meetings so that hopefully their magic happens where the technical person builds some great technology and they need a business guy to be able to sell it. And so that's where it was. That's the reason why I created it, because I just didn't see it at the time when I was on campus. So I brought that there to help stir up the movement.
Nice.
That's dope. That's cool.
That's an incubator.
Yeah. And so actually, as a segue. So the share office, or at the time we call it a co-working space, me and a couple other friends, we got together because we saw this new upcoming trend where there's a lot of creatives who worked at home. And, working at home is a gift and a curse, right? It's a gift in the sense that it saves money, but it's a curse in the sense of it's a distraction, and it sometimes kills productivity. But having and again, this is all about going to solve basic problems. But if you're a independent business, solopreneur, even a 1 or 2 man shop, you want to get an office space. Office space from traditional people is very expensive, several grand a month, right? And sometimes you don't need all that. So the emergence think of WeWork. They and at the time I think WeWork was only just in, maybe had a building or two in New York. This is 2009. So basically, we wanted to do something similar to in that for Delaware, we take creatives or independent consultants, whoever, allow them just to rent a desk, something more fractional, where they don't have to be there all the time, more affordable. It gets them out the house, and it gives them that water cooler experience where you get to talk about the game last night and just have some side conversation. And so that's what birthed the co-worker space. Now, unfortunately, the business did eventually shut down, but it was nice that it paved the movement. And now there's several co-working space here in the state of Delaware, and even the entrepreneurship club. There's the Horn program. There's this new pitch competition. There's a lot of innovation entrepreneurship activities that are flourishing today. And I want to say I believe that I was part of that effort to kind of help move those movements.
Nice. Just going into just the I guess the venture capitalist space in terms of when you came to feel like you want that. Now, is it always a case that venture capitalists always look for like tech companies, or there are other other things that venture capitalists even invest in, or is it only this like tech stuff?
Yeah, primarily tech. Now there are new things out there that. So, short answer to your question, primarily tech, and tech can be software. Tech can also be hardware. Anything that's really innovative. But I have seen, in especially more recent years, where they're also entertaining consumer products as well. So there are consumer product companies that have raised venture capital. And the bottom line really is that anything that can scale up fast, because keep in mind that the way a venture capitalist, I didn't say this earlier, but a venture capitalist, apologize to my cough, so I'm just getting over a cold, so my voice is a little rough.
It's all right.
A venture capitalist makes money off the exit, meaning they have to sell the business. Mm-hmm. So we only have a 10-year window, really shorter than that, to raise money, invest the money, grow the business, and sell the business. And that all has to be done within a 10-year window. And so in other words, that, if we, let's just say you guys build a tech startup, I invest, then I expect you guys to grow that bad boy as fast as you can within a 5-year window, and then sell it to ABC company. Mm-hmm. And then because we took equity, we took 20%, 25% of the company. When you sell, we expect if you sell for $1 million, we want to get $250. Just use that as a simple math. Of course, we want you to sell way more than that, but just use that as a simple.
Nice. So the percentage that you guys get is always the same for everybody?
No, it varies. Okay. So one of the downsides of if you're a founder that raises venture capital, your percentage keeps shrinking. Every time you raise more and more money, all the investors, because we all get a piece of the pie, your pie keeps shrinking down. And hopefully, though, even though your pie is shrinking down, the value of your pie keeps going up. Hopefully, that's the case. So, meaning that if when you incorporate a business, everybody's business is worth it at that point. I think they even value that like point less than a penny. But as you grow your business, meaning revenue, sales, user growth, whatever, with StreamYard, you guys doing things like this. This is engagement. This is things that they want. Hopefully, it goes from a penny to 50 cents to $1 to $2 to $5 to $10, and then we see stuff on the stock exchange for $100 a share. That's what you want. So even if you only own 10% of the company, but hopefully you have like 10 million shares that are worth $100 a piece. You know what I mean? I don't know what that comes out to, because
a lot of money.
I got a C in finance, but you get what I'm saying. Right. And so there's a benefit and a con, but that's the thing. Even if you are shrinking, your ownership percentage is going down. hopefully as it's going down, the value of your business, the share price, it's all the same thing. Share price value of the business is going up significantly to make it worthwhile for you.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Yeah, because that's what I was wondering. Like, why is this beneficial to the
entrepreneur? Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of reasons too. So one is it depends on what you're building. Sometimes it's a necessity because you're building something that requires a lot of manpower to build. And then let's just say it hits like Instagram. Instagram never sold one ad, didn't make any revenue, was sold to Facebook for $1 billion, for I think 200 million, right?
Yeah.
But to build that and then keep up with demand, and you're not generating any revenue. So you have to pay for engineers, you have to pay for their salaries. So that's where the VCs come in, venture capitalists come in, is to pay for those salaries in exchange for equity, because Instagram in its beginning stages really was just destroying the place. Similar to similar to what TikTok did, but TikTok is starting to level out a little bit now. So there's going to be someone else coming out pretty soon with something else, and you guys know the game. And so to keep up with that momentum, they need the cash to survive. But the benefit is the share, the value of the business as your business grows, your value, even if you own, like I said earlier, if you own 10%, but your share price in the beginning was $1 a share, but now it's $50 a share.
Right.
You become
made
rich.
50 times.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you made 50 times the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I like they always saying Shark Tank is 0 out of 0. I mean, 100% of nothing is nothing. So
nothing.
That's why
that's true. That's true. So there is that added benefit that when you have the VCs come on, you have a pool of capital available to you, and your job is to spend it. As a CEO of the founder of the company, you have to spend the money that's invested in you. If it's just sitting there, that's a bad thing. Now, it's not recommended you just go willy-nilly with it. Don't go to don't go to no Diddy parties or anything like that. The expectation you should be in the office working, right?
Unless you think Diddy parties are a good investment.
I mean, it could be a networking opportunity.
It
could be a network opportunity.
By all means,
I don't want that network. I mean, not network.
What?
Network.
Network. Yeah. You don't want that network. All right. We're going to be like, Shannon, whoa, come on now. I'm curious. When you say as a venture capital advisor as well, like how does that even work? Do they bring you the ideas and you kick the tires, or is that something that you research, like things that like, hey, maybe you'd be interested in this? Like, how does that kind of work?
Right.
Yeah. So I have different clients too, not just Daymond. He's just one of them, and I work with investors as well as entrepreneurs. So it all depends on what the need base is. For sometimes some entrepreneurs, I work with them on just how to build their business. I help them talk about like how to raise capital, whether it's equity or debt, and so it's just really helping them grow. And sometimes I also connect dots. For example, there's a company I'm helping them try to get more into selling this product in schools. Also try to help get companies and some consumer product companies into retail shops, right? And there's even a couple businesses here in the state of Delaware alone who are Black-owned or now franchisors. You know what I mean? Because I was able to help them do that. And so by doing that simple thing, it increased the value of their business, because initially they're a local shop in Delaware, but now they're a franchisor, so which is their IP, similar to, that's why I can understand why Cat Williams is concerned about his jokes. That's his intellectual property. That's his IP.
Yeah.
So these businesses, their IP is as their process of how they do their things. Now they can sell that IP all across the nation. So if they wanted another location in Idaho, they now have the rights to do that, and they can get royalties from that franchisee in Idaho. But they are Black-owned, and they did that. So it's multifaceted. So it hits a lot of different pieces. Sometimes there was one gentleman I was actually trying to help him buy a business. And so it ranges. So it all depends on what they need.
Okay, so now, it's not just one point. It's not just one point. It's multiple points of the tipping points, I guess, that you talk about. It's not just somebody looking to be a venture, add capital to a business, but you also help the entrepreneur as well. So it's like both points of entry, I guess. So you kind of
yes,
gotcha.
Yes, and then on the investor side, sometimes I just help them do due diligence on deals, look through deals, help them source. And sometimes I do connect, provide deal flow. I may say, hey, you might want to check out this company, and they may or may not, but that happens too. But for some of them, I help them vet a lot of the deals.
Nice.
So because the downside is doing the diligence is like literally pulling receipts. You literally have to do that. If you said that you're doing $1 million in revenue, where the receipts for that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, we gotta pull your card. So that's the world of investing is you gotta pull people's receipts all the time.
Yo, I'm wondering, like, the people that invested in Stanley Cup, did they? I wonder if they making some money now because this.
Absolutely. You saw
completely out of hand.
Yeah, somebody making money. Somebody making money. We don't know who it is yet, but somebody making money off of what though? I don't know. You let me know, but I don't know. But someone is making money off of hype.
Well, they said they brought the guy, the person who was responsible for the new hype of who made Crocs popping. They brought that person over to Stanley, and that's why Stanley is now.
Yo, who is this genius?
Yeah, they need to put this guy on CNN or something. Like they need to write a book. Because the beauty of like when you do something like that, when you do it once, the argument is maybe they got lucky.
Right.
But when you do it twice, that turns into
nice.
Okay. That's right. Yeah, so that is, I mean, because that's a very good skill set that you make people like demand. I want to use the word nothing. They demand nothing so much. You know what I mean? Like
true.
Because Crocs. Don't get me wrong, Crocs do have a simple functionality to it, but flip-flops did too, but he crushed that. And then with the Stanley Cup thing, I mean, other than just I've seen that same thing in the store just a couple weeks ago. Right. It just didn't have Stanley Cup on it.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, hey. and guess how much they probably made it? It probably cost like, 10 cents to make it.
Right, yeah.
It's on for like $70 or something like that. Or more.
And some people have bought them Starbucks one and they selling them for like $8,000, $7,000. Like it's crazy. Yes,
it's crazy.
Well, I heard this before, but we all heard about the gold rush, right? They say the people who make the money in the gold rush is not the people who's searching for the gold. It's the people who sells a shovel and who sells
Levi's.
Yeah, those are the people who make the money in the gold rush. So yes, so Target and whoever created this dude who created the hype around the Stanley Cup, they're making the money.
Yeah, they somebody was in there trying to steal a whole box of them. That was crazy.
Man, I read an article. A woman tried to give away her
pay their mortgage.
Try to give her.
So to that, people. I had a good life lesson. I used to work at Walmart when I was in college, right? And out of Newcastle, that one was the most. So you guys already know what I'm talking about. You've been it out. I've seen. By the way, man, I got a story for days. I've seen someone get married inside that Walmart.
Really?
You heard correctly. Literally, wedding ceremony, walk down the aisle, kiss, all that. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I don't have no receipts because this is back before we had cell phones. but I actually know who the guy is, and I'll point him out whenever I see him.
Is he still married? Are they still married?
No, they ain't married at all. I don't even think it lasts like a year.
Walmart marriages don't last that long.
As soon as the prices went up at Walmart, they got divorced.
Yeah. what I was gonna say was that like people, I learned like especially like Black Friday. This is early 2000s, and people are like when it comes to buying stuff, people lose their mind literally, and I witnessed it firsthand working there. I mean, people will fight. I remember one time I worked in the electronics department, so that's the most demanding place ever, right? Because you got Xbox and PlayStation and all that.
For sure.
And I remember I almost thought I was gonna lose my life, and it was two females, a Black female and a white female. And so, to give you some context, at the time, the station's game system were locked up. So in order to get it, the rule was you had to come get somebody to unlock it, right? So at the time, I was at the register. A white lady that came and got me, and I went over there, and there was the Black lady standing in front of the thing. She was like, "No, I wasn't moving from here. I was waiting to for someone to come over. This is mad busy, you know what I mean? So the downside about that is literally one PlayStation in that thing. So I got this white lady who came and got me, and I had this Black lady sitting there like, "Hey, I've been standing here for a long time." And they both looking at me like, make a decision. and so I didn't say, I always joke like this how I knew Jesus was real, because I didn't respond to neither one of them. I just slowly opened the gate, took out the package, took out the game system, slowly walked to the counter, and I was at the same time I was trying to speak in tongues, even though I didn't know what tongues was. I was praying, and I really didn't know what to do. I still didn't answer them. Neither one of them. You can feel the heat on the back of the neck, the heat on both sides, just saying like which one. Like you can just feel it. And I'm walking slowly, like I'm up here, and that's why I believe like you do see your life before you about to die, because I really felt like that. And then soon as I came around the corner, my boss said, "Hey, Pedro, do you know someone that needs another PlayStation?" And man, I was so excited when he said that. And I said, "Yes, here." I'm like, and I told him, like, "Dude, you don't know, you just saved my life." I was praying hard. I wasn't even going to church at that time, but I was praying hard. And that's how I tell people, like, that's how I know Jesus is real, because if Jesus wasn't real, you wouldn't be talking to me today, because I probably would have been dead. Seeing it like, what happened to him? He gave his PlayStation to the wrong one. So anyway, my point is that story was that people go crazy. Yeah, I'm literally going like this. I ain't saying I'm ignoring them. I didn't even make eye contact with them. After I took it out, I didn't even make eye contact with them. I had my back turned to them, just like I ain't saying nothing. And I said, that guy didn't come, I probably would have just dropped it and ran.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's why I was like, put it at the register and just, I'm on break. I'm on break now. Hey, I don't know who this is.
I'm clocking out. I don't know what happened.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, people go crazy, man, over stuff, and it's mind-boggling, because I think also, I don't know if it was that time or the year, it was also during a time when we were supposed to be in a bad economy. I'm like, how are we in a bad economy and y'all swiping credit cards like it ain't no tomorrow? Right. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so that's why it was a good life lesson for me. Like, basically, in other words, like, people won't buy what they want to buy.
Yeah,
that's true.
People ain't that broke. People ain't that broke.
Yeah, people always find money. That's the American thing. We find money for what you want to spend it on. I mean, we find money. Like, hey, we can't fund them schools, but hey, there's a war over there. We can fund.
We just took 200 million overseas. So yeah.
I was just
like, here's 200 million. Oh,
right.
I never knew
what this thing. I was looking at this. Stanley's a 110-year-old company. It went from 70 million in revenue to 750 million revenues over the last 4 years.
What?
All because women like cups now, or they just found out that women may like cups. That's awesome.
I did see this.
They used to do the soup thing. They used to do that. The workers' pell. They used to put the soup in. That was the Stanley thing. But they learned, hey, that thing replaced the one that you see now. That's all over the place. Replaced what there used to be top selling thing was. But
also, I think it was the power of TikTok, because I did see this TikTok where the girl's car caught on fire,
That helped too.
Yeah. Oh, and they bought her a new car. Yeah, they bought her a new car.
Yeah, and the Stanley Cup was still there. Like, I got this.
And still cold. And still cold, right?
Ice in it,
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole
that's how it started.
The Stanley Cup is like got ice in it still and everything. And it's just like,
that was good marketing.
And Stanley, the owners, whoever, one of the CEOs came out and said, "We'll just buy you a new car. Don't worry about it." Thank you for doing
was that
that.
real or was that just a Stanley Cup commercial?
It doesn't matter. It probably was. Question it. It doesn't even matter. Stanley Cup just went 10 times. Stanley Cup just went 10 times. I bet you Cat got stock in that. He knew.
From what I heard, they just happened to see it and they picked it up on it. It was like, hey, this is a good opportunity that we can use to boost our brand.
Yeah.
And they used it. I mean, hey, if it worked, it worked. I mean,
it's literally supposedly a random fire. Yeah, a random fire that's our cup. That's our cup in that fire.
Yeah. How convenient. Yeah.
Right. Something.
It's that same material in fireman uniforms then. That's where it should be. Then put that in fireman uniforms. I need that technology. Per person.
Well, that need to be on the spaceship.
I said my car needs to be made out of the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Stanley Cup.
Right.
Matter of fact, and also we just unfortunately just had a fire in our neighborhood, and it's a townhouse, and the downside with townhouses too, because boom, it bleeds over.
Right.
Like that right there could be another stop, but it can at least stop it from spreading over.
For apartments, for townhomes, apartments.
Yeah.
Especially in the favelas.
I hear that.
10%. 10%. We take it every time. We're venture capitalists in a way too. In a way.
No.
But nobody came through with the deal yet, though.
Yeah, our deals our NDAs are on file, but no one's came through with no deals yet.
Right. Not yet.
Hey, on a serious tip, I give you a little bit of a tip though. You don't always have to have money to get equity in something. So if let's just say you provide a value add, whatever that value add is, for some time, because really, what is money? Money is a value add, it's a resource. But remember when what's her name? Beyonce told me to pay me in equity. She performed in exchange for equity. That was the value add. That's what they wanted. There's a painter he's worth $200 million, all because Facebook didn't have the cash to pay him, so they gave him stock. And of course, Facebook blew up. So his stock value was now worth I don't know how much it was worth now. At the time, it was worth $20 million. So what I'm saying is that
Jason Weaver did that.
If you come across something and you like it and you have a value add, sometimes the value add can be a connection. It can be a platform. You're able to do something. You can get a little piece of the pie that said, hey, if I can get you into Costco, I'm just making that up. I want 2% equity in the business. If I can put you in front of somebody, or if I give you an idea for something, or if I build something, or if I do something, I want to exchange. Instead of maybe an actual payment, you can get equity in exchange for that. There's pros and cons, don't get me wrong, because even if you get equity, it can still blow up and go nowhere. And you didn't get no payment, no cash or anything like that. But, so everything is, trial. You got to try everything, figure out what makes the best sense for you. And of course, in order to make sure it's all legitimate and all that. But anyway, I just want to throw that little nugget out there. You can get equity, and you don't always have to give out cash to do.
Pedro's saying that because he's telling us to take our idea to Stanley Cup and let them know that they need to start building these walls.
Now I'm curious if I had a tech company, but I had no money, but I had a tech ideal, I had no money, I might be an engineer too, so I can do something, but I still don't have the finances to build out my ideal. Would a venture capitalism and get in that? And if they would, how do I present that to them?
Probably not at that early of a stage, because there's layers to it. So sometimes I'm gonna generalize it. The basic the flow is self-financing, meaning that you tap your own back pockets to fund it. Excuse me, you tap your family and friends if you need to. Then maybe if you get lucky enough to find some other angels, that can give some cash. and or some grants. It depends on how. For example, there's some grants out there depending on how innovative it is. Excuse me, that you can do it, and some grants. And then after you get some scale, when I say scale, again, there's layers to it. There are earlier stage VCs who are open to the product, and if you have a good product and you are building yourself a good team, they may give you the money to help build it out. And then you have another stage VC that might give you money to help grow the business, meaning to sell it. So taking the let's just say the material that Stanley Cup uses this, and then we make it as wallpaper, right? Or something like that. Let's just say we take the same material but we change it in the form of paint. And so we paint the walls. And so soon we paint the walls, we have the same protection as that Stanley Cup for fire, right? So the beginner process is that you got to figure out if you can actually do that. Can you mix that technology that they have into paint, and can it work? You got to do all that testing. Think of when Iron Man first put the Iron Man suit. You got to do that part. You got to figure that part out yourself. And then let's just say you do it. If it's something that's really, really innovative, and not a lot of people are doing it, you might be able to get this patent early on, and you might get some people who understands technology better to actually back you early on and say, hey, this is actually really, really innovative. Excuse me, this is really, really innovative. And I actually might give you some money to actually see if you can build a better working model around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, there's levels of it. But typically it's self-financed in the beginning.
Okay. So
now when a venture capitalist comes along, are you always coming along to make sure the entrepreneur is going to sell the business in the future? Is it always that?
Yes, that's one of the deal breakers. Once you've taken venture capitalist money, not an angel investor. Angel investors are just individuals who think of Shark Tank. Those are just individuals who are rich. They're always open. They may just say, "Hey, I can hold the business. I can just give me dividends every year." But venture capitalists, as soon as you say yes and you start them down the line and they give you money, they want you to have the expectation to sell.
Why?
So there is expectation.
Why though? Pedro, why?
Because remember I said earlier,
they want their money.
But you can get if you can get dividends, or you can get always paid on the back end. Why would you choose to get paid out all the way out front instead of getting the dividends on the back end?
Well, good question. So two reasons. The first reason is every venture capital is a fund, and think of it as a short-term or a 10-year contract. So, like I said earlier, they have a window to raise money. They have 10 years to raise money from a whole bunch of rich people, invest in a couple of companies, and then get out of that contract. And when I say define get out of that contract, meaning that they got to try to sell some companies to get some cash to return it back to their investors within that 10-year window.
So the venture capitalist isn't the actual person that's funding all the money. They're actually talking to investors to get money to fund the project.
Yes and no. So they already would talk to the investors. So let's just say I want to launch a venture capital fund. I go to Daymond John. I go to Cat Williams because he said he's super rich. And what he actually is, he technically is rich. He's richer than every person. So I'll go to him. I'll go to Shay. I'll go to Bill Gates and or institutions, Bank of America, whoever. I ask them for X amount of money. I'll put it in a pot. Once I got that money in my pot, now I got to take that money out of my pot and invest in companies like you guys, right? And then,
okay.
But then after that, your job is to grow your business as fast as you can because I got 10 years.
Right.
I got invested in like 10 different companies. So I need all of y'all to like
hurry up
grow fast and sell
money back.
Yeah.
Because you have 10 years, not the entrepreneur.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now I have 10 years. So yeah, the entrepreneur technically doesn't have 10 years. I have 10 years. But the expectation is that they sell the business. And so if they
once they took the money, they got 10 years too.
they in a way, because after they sell the business, they may have to work for that company. So let's just say we talk about paint, right? I'm just saying Home Depot. I can't think of the. Is it Bear? The biggest
Sherwin-Williams.
So let's just say we invent this new paint. Here come Bear, buys it for like $50 million, right? Bear may want to keep us employed there for a couple years. Now, after that few years, you know, they may say, "Hey, do what you want. You can stay or leave." Sometimes most of them leave because most entrepreneurs don't want to stay in corporate America. They would like the entrepreneurial culture. So there is expectation that you will. A perfect scenario is that you're out as well, or you're sold to Amazon or Bear, and they buy the whole company. That's the expectation. They buy the whole company. And we bought shares at $1 a share, and hopefully they buy it at $50 a share. And then we cash out. We get our cash, and we do say, "Okay, here, David, here's your cut. Bank of America, here's your cut." All that, and then we get our cut too, and then we move on to the next one. So, and then the other reason too. So that's the first reason is we're in 10 years. The other reason too, for things to grow significantly, dividends only come when there's profit. Downside sometimes about profit is that you got to use the profit to be reinvested. So there's a lot of money being spent. So most of these companies are not generating any real profit because a lot of the money is being spent every year to have the engineers, to have the talent to keep it growing. So a lot of times there is no profit, there is no cash flow to really produce a dividend at all.
Gotcha.
So that's the other reason. So it's just focus on growing a top line revenue, and most venture capitalists are happy with that.
I mean, that sounds scary though. Like, wait, because, and I'm only saying that is because, like,
scary for who?
For the venture capitalists, because it's like, what do you see in this tech that you think is just worth it? Pretty much is what I'm saying.
That's the
like,
venture capitalism.
That's the risk.
He has to have the eye and the mind to see 5 years into the future.
It's an absolute gamble. It is an absolute gamble. It's just more of a professional gambling system. You know what I mean? So when I'm so like, there's really statistics. There's basically a rule of thumb out there that theoretically, majority of your portfolio won't do anything for you. A third will probably just be dumped. Another third, maybe you'd be lucky to break even. But the remaining third, in theory, or in a perfect world, makes all your money. So it's like if you have 10 companies, if you invest in 10 companies, you're expecting up to three of them, to really return all your money plus some. Okay, right. So it is a absolute.
So you're a baseball player. You're 30%. If I get 30%, I could be in the Hall of Fame. I'm at least an all-star. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah. The downside, though, but if you look at the statistics, a lot of VC firms don't rarely even get to that third, though. Wow. Most of them don't really perform well because it is a.
Is that a legit number? 30%? You're looking for a 30%.
I would say that's the ideal. When I say 30%, that's 30% that when you're expecting that you invest at $1, you're expecting them to be sold at $10 a share. If you invested at $1 share, you expect those 3 companies to be sold at $10 a share.
Gotcha.
If they're sold at $2 a share, that's nice, but it's not enough because you got to remember.
You got to cover for the other. You got to cover for the other ones.
You got to cover for the others.
Yes.
You got to cover for the others. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why. So that's why it's almost like a gambling art.
I mean, I guess any investment is kind of a gamble anyway.
Yeah. Pedro, what's your percentage? Pedro, are you at 30%? Are you at 30%? Or are you a little bit higher?
Oh, I don't have fun no more. The fund had to close down. But it did not hit the numbers perfectly. We had some good wins, but not all of them.
Yeah. Okay. Even entrepreneur is a gamble too. I mean, hey, there's a lot.
It is. You just make it. Yeah, you just looking at a dart and say, okay, well, hopefully this sticks this time. You know,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm curious because like you were saying, a lot of the venture capitalists are tech and space and talking about like social media. What's more important? Like, is it the functionality or is it just the algorithm? You're just looking at, oh, this algorithm is amazing. Like, what exactly is it that is, I guess, trumps that say, oh, this is a good
I would say it all varies. I would say just to simplify it all depends on what is the void in the market, what is the problem in the market, and how well is that technology addressing it, and is anyone else addressing it? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So a couple variables. What's the void? What's the void in the market, and how good are you filling that void? And then the third thing is, who are the competitors? If no one's even close, that gives you a good long stretch. I'm trying to think of like a good example of that, of a company. Keurig. I don't really drink coffee, but like Keurig, right? Even though that's not software, but they had a technology about how they do the coffee, right? Right. They had a patent. Patents theoretically last for 20 years, but they had a process that no one can really duplicate for a while. Yeah. And now I think the patent has expired, so anybody can do it now. But that gives them a leg up because the basic problem is saving time for people, right? Because always you got the bag coming all up. Here, you just put a thing in there, press a button, and you're on the move. So it was a matter of solving the problem for like the speed and stuff like that. And so that's what they did. They solved that problem.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good example. But he said you get the bag.
That's spoken like a guy who don't drink coffee too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you get the bag, you put the crumble in there. Like, what crumble? But yeah, you're right. You're right though.
He's absolutely right, and it's funny because even when people don't have a Keurig actual Keurig machine, but they have a machine that does the pods, they'll still say, "I got a Keurig." They still
it's just like it's Kleenex. It's whole Kleenex.
Right,
I don't get no nuggets. I don't eat nuggets. I eat McNuggets. Like, no, you don't.
Like Band-Aids.
You only eat McNuggets. Exactly. Yeah. It's petroleum jelly, bro.
Every time my wife says, "Oh, we got a Band-Aid," I'm like, they did their job. That is it. That's not it though.
What is it though? If it's not a Band-Aid,
adhesive bandage, right?
It's adhesive bandage. Adhesive bandage. Okay.
But Band-Aid sounds so much easier to say.
Yeah.
It sounds more different.
And they made a company out of that and trademarked that. That's so much better than bandage adhesive.
Right. Like Q-tip, we want to say cotton swab.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But who thought up Q-tip though? Like, that's a weird name to call it.
Hey, well,
cotton swab is short for Q-tip is short for cotton swab.
Yeah, no, I never thought about that. Where did the Q come into play?
But I don't know.
But it worked, I guess. You know,
it doesn't matter because we call it Q-tips and not cotton swabs. It saves a lot of time.
Right. It says right there on the thing. It says right there on there, Q-tip cotton swab. So you know.
Yeah.
But hey, it doesn't matter.
Are there people out there that's not venture capitalists that I guess they just investors that would invest in not necessarily a tech business, but it could be, but any type of business that they think is.
That's like the angel investors. That's like the Shark Tank, right?
Correct.
Okay, that they'll just.
And those are just local people. Those are just, and even though Shark Tank people are famous and all that, are highly successful. There's a lot of people around in your backyard you don't even know. You know that is book you guys probably heard Millionaire Next Door. There's a lot of Joe. I'm gonna just say Joe Schmoes. Or Sally Sue's around us, who are executives, who are business owners, and all that, who just have done financially well. And when I say financially well, they don't got to be like super duper rich, but they're definitely well off, and they're always a lot of them are open to new opportunities. And if you have the art to that game is relationships. You gotta invest that time of building relationships to extract that money from those people. So that's the name of the game of that. But yeah, it's basically angel investors, but they're everywhere. There are actually local angel groups in every major city. But even outside of that, there are just random people that are amongst you every day that are just successful and probably have the cash to invest, but you just don't have a relationship with them yet. It's that whole trust factor.
Right.
I need to start playing golf or something. I need to get these relationships.
Bocce ball or shuffleboard or
pickleball or something.
Yeah, whatever.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts.
They play spades. They play spades or dominoes or anything like that.
I'm sure there's some.
Yeah.
I need to find that club. I'm looking for that club.
I will say this too. Delaware gets crapped on a lot. There was a viral video recently with some lady who, I don't know if you guys saw it. Yeah. You saw it?
Yeah. I think we saw it yesterday.
Say it again.
Wait, with the girl dancing?
Yeah, the black girl dancing and saying this is So Delaware gets crapped on, but there's a lot of wealth. You just don't see
love that. I love that song. I think that song is awesome. Nobody likes that song.
It is addictive. It's just that she crapped on us a little bit, but there's a lot of wealth in Delaware. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And because especially lower Delaware, I'm finding now is like a lot of because you got people who are out of town, who may have their primary residence out of town, but they have their beach house here. And if you ever take a nice stroll down there, there's some beautiful beach houses. Those beach houses are bigger than most people's primary home.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so. So it's just a matter of building a relationship, being where they are. It's basic marketing. If you're selling a product, you want to be where your customers are. And if your product at the time is an investment opportunity, you want to be where those people are, the investors. Where do they dwell at? Where they hang?
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right, bruising at the beach, 2024. That's where we're
boats
hanging out on the shore.
Boats and banter.
Boats and banter pockets.
I like that.
Now, I'm curious. Like when people, I know you said you were starting to get more into private equity. So what's the difference between venture capitalism and private equity?
Yeah, good question. Venture capital, they invest and take a minority share, less than 50% equity in the business. Okay. They don't want to run the business. I invest in you guys' idea. You guys run the show. I just check in. Excuse me. Private equity buys the business, 51% or more, and they control it and they run it. That's what private equity does.
Okay.
So there's a book called Why Should All the White Guys Have All the Fun?
Oh, that's a great name.
That's what I was going to say. I like the name. I like the
title. By Reginald Lewis. So it's a great book. They have it on Audible in case you guys like to listen versus reading. Yeah. But it's Why Should All the White Guys Should Have All the Fun? And it's basically a book around his journey in the 80s of buying a couple of businesses and building it into $1 billion portfolio in the 80s. And he started out as a black lawyer, and it just shows his journey of how he became super wealthy by buying businesses. But anyway, that'd be a good story to read. Just a good introduction to that.
Right.
But basically, that's the difference between the two parties. Same principle, 10 years too, by the way. The same terms. They gotta buy the business and grow it and get out of it. But it's just a different strategy. One takes minority equity. The other one takes full ownership of the business.
So it's more like the venture capitalists trust the entrepreneur a little bit more to see it through, where the equity owner trusts themselves a little bit more.
You could say that, but I wouldn't argue to say it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of strategy.
All right.
I guess you can still argue the point that the trust factor, but I will argue that it was just more of a strategy, meaning that they see an opportunity in that founder, that entrepreneur wants to get out the business for whatever reason.
Right.
They want the cash out because eventually, you work for 10, 20 years, 30 sometimes years. Yeah. you want to reap your reward. all the hours you put into it.
That's true.
Right.
And so here's a private equity investor says, okay, here's X amount of money, and we'll exchange keys or hand over the keys, kind of. And so,
and I guess sometimes, I was just going to say, sometimes private equity also attacks some of the distressed assets and like stripping for parts. They do that too, right?
That's true as well. Toys R Us as an example. Toys R Us is coming back out. I mean, actually, private equity attacked Toys R Us a couple times. They first, but they are coming back out again. But again, someone had to come in, buy the remaining assets, and said, you know what? Let's just rebuild the whole thing again, maybe a different way.
Wait, so they're coming back out. Is that something we should invest in?
I think it's like mostly website now. I think it's mostly gonna be more.
I think so. I think they had maybe one store. I can't. Don't quote me on it, but they're definitely not trying to do the whole retail thing. It's probably going to be. I'm not sure how they're going to do it because the toy market is competitive, but Toys R Us is a great brand. I mean, I remember my days at Toys R Us, even getting lost.
Yeah,
listen.
Yeah, it's a great brand, but like
awesome.
Toys R Us didn't have nothing of their own though. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was all just
they were a basic retailer. Yeah.
And it's like you really, and nowadays you can get all that stuff from anywhere. So it's like, what do you?
Yeah, I know that. I think
that's what it was. It was like Walmart and Target was just like, why didn't Zales and Zayres and all those other places before us have toys? Like, why didn't they have we're going to get the toys too? And Toys R Us is like, we do toys. Well, I don't give a fuck about that.
And then you have Amazon that said,
think about the consumer.
Right.
I was gonna say, like, if you're a mom shopping for kids,
right,
it's easier to get that same toy at Walmart after you just bought grocery.
Right.
Yep.
Versus have to now
or
stop.
I'll go grocery shopping and send your ass to the toy section. Go play. Yeah, go play.
Yeah.
Go mess with Pedro. Go mess with Pedro.
And true story. I had a lot of those kids. There's a lot of parents that have done exactly what
I know you
did. Send their bad kids to our department.
Right.
They be stealing. They be messing with the games. I'm like, get out of here. Where's your mom at?
Don't you need that PlayStation game? Yes.
And here's a slick part that they be trying to do. They'll put the kid over here, right? They'll buy like maybe some pack of batteries for like $5 and bring like their 2 shopping carts of groceries. And electronics has a small
register.
Right.
But you don't got no line though. But your line ain't long. I gotta take advantage of the short line.
Yeah. You got same thing at the auto center.
I want these batteries. Can you buy you just do everything else? Like,
right. Yep. I'm here.
Yeah.
I came to get my kids. Right. I came to get my kids and these batteries. Let me get my groceries too, sir. That's wild.
You should be like, nope, I'm only scanning the batteries. You got to go scan the rest.
When they try that at the auto center, I'd be like, yo, come on, bro. I'm just trying to pay for this oil change. Y'all got like a fucking...
He got diapers in the Barbie doll.
All right. I had my question, but I lost it. Never mind.
I got a question. What's bubble soccer, brother?
So it's not as popular as it once was back in 2015. But bubble soccer essentially is you play soccer, but you're inside of literally a bubble.
Oh, like the sumo game type of thing.
Oh, like the dude that got hit. The dude that got hit by the Bulls and went into the third row. Yes. I know what that is. Yes. That's what I was thinking it was.
Yeah. So I was the first one to bring it to the state of Delaware. Yeah, okay. and that was the business that I had. So I had like the state of Delaware was my client, UD, Del State, a couple big court, Bank of America, Boys and Girls Club, and all of them. And so that was my other business that I had too. And it was great fun business, made a lot of cash from it because it was a low cost business. It's simple too, it was a simple, easy business to do. But the pandemic hit, and that really kind of slowed a lot of things down. And after that, I was, because of my new direction, I kind of just shut the business down.
I'm about to say, because it's probably coming back now.
I got an idea about bubble soccer, Pedro.
Well, if you know anybody that wants it, I'm willing to sell the remaining stuff from it. You know, then if anyone buys it, then you can call them the acquisition entrepreneur. I'm still taking takers whoever wants to buy it.
Brews and Banter may buy it. Yep, we may buy these bubble soccer balls.
Why not?
Bubble soccer kickball.
Yeah. You're literally playing. You're kicking the ball all around, running and smashing into each other.
Yes, I know. Yep.
I know how to do that.
What? You don't like the way I'm saying it?
That thing gonna be butt naked.
Why everything gotta be so? Why is everything like that? I don't do that. I'm not like that. That's not how I am. I don't get butt naked in bubbles. I don't get butt naked. I don't play butt naked soccer bubble ball. I don't do that.
I think you do.
I don't do that. Y'all can keep the bubble things if y'all think I'm going to disgrace them or something like that. Keep it. Y'all keep it at your house. I'm not gonna put no nakedness in the bubble. That's crazy.
I did have a question in terms of like, and this is just, I guess, general due diligence and just doing research on your own time. Is there was there companies that, and they might have taken off at this point, but did you like see companies that you did some due diligence on and you did some research and all that kind of stuff? But there's ones that that stood out to you at that time, but now you've really seen their growth and like, oh wow, this is they have really taken off. Are there companies like that you've seen personally? I guess.
There's always companies like that. For example, like there was opportunity to get in Pinterest. Not Pinterest at the early stage. This is a little bit more mature, so the share price wasn't as cheap, but it was still before it went public. Wasn't even getting that deal. There was a couple other deals too where it was. I remember the time too because we was in South Carolina when I got the call. I can't call the name, but there was a few opportunities. There's actually more specifically. There was this investor group that was curating a lot of good deal flow, and I just couldn't get in because their requirements were high, and I just too high for me. But I was upset because they were like investing in a lot of good stuff, and then they were cashing out big time, and I just had to sit back and just
watch.
Just rock like this, you know. And so, there was a company that was sold to Cisco. Not for that group, but an old portfolio company that we got out too early, and what other ones? Can't call them off the top of my head, but there's always. I mean, the unfortunate side of being any type of investor, you're gonna lose out on some. It's just it's just unfortunate.
Well, they say when you invest, you got to be willing. That got to be money that you are okay with losing.
That's true. That's true. But sometimes though, when you see deals, it's at the time, things don't check off. You know, because a lot of times whenever you invest, you don't start with an investment thesis. You normally have a target. You like to see this. You like to see that. You like to see this. So as you're listening and looking at deals, you're kind of subconsciously looking, thinking like, okay, I'm looking for
checking off those spots. Yeah.
Are there any red flags, or what about some green flags? You know, and so sometimes there are some red flags that go off, and you may be uncomfortable with at the time, and then you realize later on, crap, it wasn't that big of a deal, or even if it was a deal, they got it resolved and they went off to
kept it going.
You know, and so that's just the unfortunate act sometimes. You know, there's no way around it.
Hello?
Got it.
That was me.
Okay. You just fiddling. You're fiddling.
Stop touching stuff, yo. He's a fiddler.
Now,
on the roof.
Pedro, when you were doing your venture capitalist and now with the equity part, do you focus on Black-owned companies, or does that matter?
No, I do any company. Recent years have been a lot more Black and brown, but really I work with any companies. To me, they're all the same. I do, but I guess to your point too, I do have a personal interest because it's someone that looks like me. So if I see a good company, I do try to do the best I can to help out even more, because I know they may not have all the resources or stuff that's available than other folks may have. So I try to do my best to help out where I can, but I work with all types. I realize too, to really build wealth, you gotta be able to work with all types.
Oh yeah.
True.
I have a question, like, because we've been talking about all these tech companies, like, but I need an example of like one that you actually like invested in as the venture capitalist, because I'm thinking like, what's a tech company that you guys would have did? Like, I mean, I don't know.
So there's one company that we invested in. I'm assuming it should be up there. I can share that. Let's see.
Check that NDA.
Yeah,
it was all under.
All right. You ain't got to say the name, really. You could just okay. Then
all right. Well, I won't say. So the one I was actually just searching is a virtual app placement. Now, some of these are where we invested in probably early 2010s. So one is a virtual app placement platform where, especially during that time, if you think about 2010, right before that, there was a real estate boom. So there's like layoffs going on. So basically, the idea is that they take a lot of people, they partner with a lot of these big firms that are laying off people, and using their virtual platform to kind of coach them into another job. Then there's another one that's still on the HR side where they're automated reference checking. So instead of you actually calling people to get reference checks, they have this automated process. Oh, we still here?
Yeah, right.
Yep. It's the fiddler. He's the fiddler.
They have an automated process of stuff. And then we had like a e-commerce engine too. That granted, at the time, this is not as impressive as today, because there's a lot more people do it today. But at the time, it was they had an e-commerce platform where it does product recommendations for mid-tier retailers, e-commerce retailers. So in other words, at the time, whenever you visit that mid-tier retail shop, it will automatically suggest other products that are relevant to the product that you already bought from the shop. So that way, the shopping cart, if you're buying a Stanley Cup, maybe you'll get like a mitten or something like that, I don't know, or a straw. It will recommend a straw to buy along with it, or a cleaner straw, something like that, to buy along with it. To help increase the ticket value of that shopping cart. Now today, that tech, a lot of people does that, so it's not that impressive. But at the time, not a lot of people were doing it at the time.
Yeah, I think
so that's just some examples of tech.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm curious. Like, if someone came to you, like I guess your mentor back in the day, and they said, "Mr. Moore, how do I get into? How do I become a venture capitalist? Like, what is your advice for someone who wants to be a venture capitalist?"
Sure. Well, I first always tell them educate themselves at first, because as I said earlier, it's an elite class, and a lot of people are prestigious, or what's another word for it? They look down on you if you don't know certain vocabulary words.
Impetus.
Impetus, and so you want to don't let that rule you out. You know what I mean? So understand the basic lingo. For example, like I'm gonna use the term down round. A down round is simply, let's just say I invest in the valuation of the company's $10 million. But then Rob comes in a year later and invests, but he says it ain't worth that much. It's worth $5 million. That's a down round because the price went down, right?
Right.
So the expectation is that if you're in these rooms, if there are words like that, they don't want you to ask questions. Well, what does that mean? They're going to expect you to know that, to have an intelligent conversation on just. And that's just a simple word right there. But just understanding the lingo, the terminology, how things work, to have a basic conversation. it is hard to get a job in the field, but because it's not like there's a lot of venture firms out there. There are quite a few, but the fact that it became so popular, there's a lot more other people competing for those roles. So you got to figure out how to stand out. The good part with social media, Twitter is a great place for the venture world and tech. Some people built their brands on tech and found jobs that way versus doing the old traditional fashion way. I actually had a friend during the pandemic raise like $10 million from his VC firm during the pandemic. You know what I mean? Wow. Using Twitter as his funnel. You know what I mean? So it was perfect timing.
So know the industry. So you got to know the industry.
Oh, know the industry. And then I'm gonna just say network. And network either online or off. I say do both. And then try to figure out what role would you like to play in the VC world. Okay. Do you feel that you are more of a finance person, or do you feel like you are more of a product person? And the reason I say that because your entry role is going to probably be around doing a lot of due diligence on the companies. And so you want to know what's your strength. So if you're more of a technical person, which is fine, especially early stage, you can really help validate whether their algorithm is good or not, or the product is good or not. You know, if you're in finance, you can help them understand the financing that they raise, or the revenue and all that good stuff. So those are the good with that. But I said that's really the best way. Understand, network online and off, and find your space where you can participate in.
Right. Now I see a lot of, I guess, athletes nowadays are getting their new contracts and like, hey, I'm gonna start a venture capitalist firm. I guess they don't need to know that. They just got $50 million in the bank and like, hey, I don't want to make. Oh, I'm gonna make it.
Hey, when you got money, you can do what you want to do. When you have money, you can do what you want to do. And don't get me wrong, too. That's actually not a bad strategy because they already got their cash. They also have a level of influence, right? And remember I was saying talk about value add, because even though you get money, the extra value add is that you can empower the product. You know what I mean? You can get more eyes on the product because you are a celebrity. So there is a value add, extra value add. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because every time I know Carmelo got a company now. Ryan Howard has one.
What's the lady who plays tennis?
Serena Williams has one.
Serena Williams, she has one.
Lady.
Jay-Z. I was trying to think of her name. Yeah, Jay-Z has one. Nas had one. He don't have one now. I don't think he has one now, but he had one. And I mean, a host of them, I think, have one in some form or fashion.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to, I guess, part of that diversification and maybe being more knowledgeable in the game. Hey, not just go by that.
Matter of fact, and what's the dude? Oh my gosh, he only had like they see me rolling. What's that guy who did that?
Oh yeah, you talking about Chameleonaire?
Yeah. To give him credit,
he made a lot of money.
He been making that. So the real people who make money are out there in Silicon Valley. That's people, and he did a good job of doing his research, which is on money. He parked his money. He said, "Look, I'm gonna be right here with y'all." Right. So he does a lot of angel investing. So I don't think he has an actual fund for himself. I think he just uses his own cash to invest. But man, I'm
still rolling.
Yeah,
see me rolling.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was the one song.
He only had like one hit.
That was it.
Yeah, that was
that's
it. Good enough.
He did a couple features on Paul Wall's album and kept it pushing.
Called it a day. Said, "Hey, I thought."
But it worked. Is still that Riding Dirty one. That's the same song, right?
Yeah. Riding Dirty.
Right. He got two songs. He got two songs. You see me rolling and Riding Dirty. And Riding Dirty.
I had to make sure it was the same song. I was like, wait a minute. That is the same song.
Right.
I think he had at least one more, though. I thought maybe like one more.
He probably did. He probably had one more.
And in the Houston area, like Slim Thug said, you don't have to be mainstream. They make a lot of money.
You just gotta be hot in Houston.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. But he took that money and did the right thing with it. So shout out to him, man.
He probably making more money than some of the other artists.
Right.
Who probably sold more records.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions for Pedro?
Nah, man.
We'll let Pedro enjoy the rest of his night.
Well, before we go, we always like to know. Well, one, we want to thank Pedro Moore for coming on the podcast.
I may have a little slight question. Yeah.
Give me my claps.
It goes along with how we're gonna wrap it up. But if anybody did want to reach out to just ask you any questions to pay for your time or anything like that, how would they go about getting in touch with you?
Yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram, Pedro_Moore. And you can actually send me just a DM because actually I have a partnership. One of my clients actually pays for my time to actually provide free consultation to a lot of people. So for a lot of people that want advice, business advice, and all that, I actually just send them through there. They just try to fill out the application. Once you do that, my time is paid through them. So that way it's free of charge. That's another way I do that. That way just save, because I know how it is too when you build a business. Cash flow can be tight. So if I can help save at least $1 or $2, and give the same value, I try that.
Yeah, that's
awesome, man. That's really good. Pro bono work. Good.
I don't know if it's just me, but if I had the last name Moore and I was a venture capitalist, I think I would try to work an IG name to kind of use.
Oh, to fit that.
More money. More
money.
He just said no. It's Pedro Moore, guys. That's it. There it is. That's all I need.
I do want to keep it the Pedro Moore because I want to build a brand identity around my name because I don't want to be known for just as VC stuff.
There you go.
There's like a whole bunch of things. So I want people to know the name and all.
Till they click on that thing and see a black guy, not a Hispanic. They're gonna be like, "Well, I thought I clicked on Pedro Moore. Where is he?"
Yeah, this guy look black. I don't want this guy.
Jesus.
I would have never thought that. That's a joke.
Really? I mean, black people got no name Pedro. None.
You want to know something funny too? To that point, how many black people named Pedro? I know 2 of them, including myself, and they're both in the family. So I have a cousin who's black.
So it's a family name. It's a family name. Hey, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Somebody down the line said they love that name and they stuck with it.
It has became a family name by accident,
Well, here I gave us information. Is there a website as well, or is it just?
Pedro.com. Yeah, everything else I'm still building. So Pedro.com, make it simple. Pedro_Moore, and everything else is Pedro Moore for LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, all that.
Yo, you mean to tell me that
Instagram? There's this guy who hasn't posted anything since like 20 years, who has Pedro Moore. I done DM'd him like 1 billion times, and no responses. So I had to settle with Pedro_Moore. So it's like everything else is Pedro Moore, but then I cannot get the handle for Pedro Moore on Instagram because of this guy who don't want to respond to the DMs.
You should report.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, let's post a picture. You know what I mean? Let's post a picture. So I know who you are.
He probably don't even know he got that page. Yeah, he probably don't even know he has the page anymore.
Right.
He might be long. He might be gone.
Which is weird to me because you always think that. I would think that something like Instagram, because nobody's been using it. Like Instagram would suddenly do it like a scan of like inactive accounts.
I would hope so. I wish they would
get rid of them.
But there's so many people with burner accounts now. Like it got to be how many years, how many months or years?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're like years out and nobody posted anything, it's like.
It depends on what they're because sometimes it's the amount of accounts, not active accounts. It's just what they can go and say, hey, we got 5 billion accounts. It doesn't matter if they're active or not, just to say. So it depends on what their insights are.
Spending nobody, I don't think they care too much.
That's
the downside.
Oh, but you know what I was going to ask you, Pedro? So what's the website? It's just Pedro.com?
Pedro Moore.
Oh, okay. Because that was a great say. I thought you said Pedro. How the hell did you get that? It wasn't already
It's just Pedro.com. Napoleon Dynamite. It's just a girl.
Just his picture flashing. Can't even nothing else.
All right, Lou, how can they find you?
Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Lou Belgium. I'm still on them Instagrams.
All right. Yeah.
You can find me on IG at IM302YODA.
You can follow the Brews and Banter Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and X, or Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, at Bruising Banter Podcast, and TikTok as well at Bruising Banter Podcast. You can listen to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can even say, Alexa, play Bruising Banter Podcast, because we are on Amazon Music. Remember to go to www.bruisingbanter.com. You can get all that information right there. And remember to always rate and review. Smash that like button on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and IG. Share, write and review is the best way to say we fucks with y'all.
There you go.
That's the best way.
Pretty much.
And also, before we go, I want to shout out Pedro for coming on the podcast, because this is a good way to start off the new year with some good information about some venture capitalists and some money, some all that good stuff. You know, it's a good way to
Everybody
start.
talk about turning a new year.
Thank you for asking me too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So he didn't tell you how he hit me up. So I came into this room and he just like, oh, you need to come on the podcast.
Yo, shut up, man.
That's what's up.
Yo, all this information Pedro just gave to find out he's a liar at the end.
Oh man, none of this was true. The whole hour and a half was false.
I gotta start rolling my hand. I got receipts.
He got receipts.
Yo, wait till they find out he ain't in the venture capitalist or nothing. That's it. Wait till they find out you ain't in the venture capitalist. You ain't.
He's an adventure. He's an adventure. The whole time he's an adventure. He's an adventure capitalist. He's not a venture capitalist. He's an adventure capitalist. I've been telling y'all that the whole time.
You can still find Pedro at Walmart in the electronic area. So give him a shout out.
He's still out here. He's still out here hustling PlayStations.
Oh, you know what? I know we ended, but that just reminded me. So I used to intern at this local hip hop radio station, right? And we used to have these celebrities come in in Delaware for concerts and all that type of stuff. And one of the DJs always used to say, like, I used to sometimes, how about the limo or very like, no, say, hey, you know, can I get your order? I'm like, no, I'm a nobody. I just work for the station. And the DJ said, yo, play on that. You know what I mean? So I was like, one time we came, I forget what artist it was, but we were going out the back door with the artist. And so all the girls came up and said, oh, can you sign this? Can you sign this? Can you sign that? And I was right behind the artist. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I thought to myself, like, man, they don't know it. You know, they go to the Walmart next week, they go see me bring them up. And they become a celebrity. They go coming at Walmart. They're like, hold on, I ain't trying to do it. DJ said, hey,
my mom.
So I give me a nice sloppy autograph and everything. I was like, little do they know, they just go into Walmart next week. They're gonna see me right there bringing their mom out.
You never know what you was manifesting back then, man. You might be signing autographs at some point.
There you go.
It ain't too late.
Never too late. You never know. Your rap career can start tomorrow.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm sure the book tour is on the way.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I am. I'm in the early stages of writing a book too.
Nice. Nice.
So the book, I don't have a date when it'll be coming out, but I'm at the beginning stages of it. Writing a book is time consuming, I will admit that. But our book will be coming. I'm saying it out loud too to also hold me accountable.
Right.
To make sure we get it done.
Is it about VCing?
No, it's about entrepreneurship in general. So I like to call it the 4 paths of entrepreneurship. And it's through my journey of like consulting a lot of different people, let them know like there's more than one way to skin the cat in terms of being an entrepreneur. It's not always having to start a business from the ground up. You know what I mean? You can buy a business, you can invent something, all that good stuff. So I go into that.
All right. Well, when that book is done, make sure you come back on and hang out with us again.
Yes.
And you can sign a copy from me. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be legit this time. Be legit.
Yeah. Because you won't see me walking to Walmart now.
No, I definitely won't.
Or will you? Or will you?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Entrepreneurship. There's ups and downs in entrepreneurship.
Right.
Never.
They always said I could come back. They always said I could go back to Walmart. My spot of electronics is solidified.
It's gonna be them tape women there waiting for that.
You can buy the book in Walmart and I'll come check you out.
There it is. Sign it in, check them out. Yep. You walk me down the damn aisle.
I know we already wrapped up, but we have run over. So
it's all good.
Well, once again, want to thank Pedro for coming on. I'm gonna give another clap.
Appreciate you, bro. Yep, thank you. That's like 5. You got more claps than anyone.
Right.
Until next time.
Have a good week, everyone.
Have a good week. Good night, all. Good night, sweetheart. Yeah, I'll sing it until you play music. Yeah, because you can't find it.
I don't got it.
Because you can't.